So we went from a pretty wet week and time period from the last video to, other than a few hours this morning, a pretty dry week here in the garden. My mic isn't working, but we're going to do this because this is when I have time to do it. Tomatoes are coming along pretty well. We're very happy with that. This bed is the one that it's mostly, I think it's all regular tomatoes. Of course, this is the cherry tomato bed, and they're coming up. I feel like they were a little behind. I've been feeding them from the worm tea every few weeks. That seems to help. They get a feed about every 3 weeks, and then the melons get a feed, and then the squashes are getting a feed. Yeah, I can't not talk about the gigantic guy here. Still going, 3 years. Also got some cilantro and stuff coming up that's starting to flower. I should probably start pulling the flowers off. Been eating some of the bok choy. Been making salads fairly regularly. I've been picking the bok choy, and I'll show you the kale and stuff we've been picking. These beans are coming along good. I can't tell, but it looks like the cucumbers are growing in there. We'll see how they do. But these beans are where they need to be. Plenty of peas, maybe too many peas planted here. I'm not sure. They're not climbing as well as they usually climb, but we're helping them along. But they keep falling down like this, and I think some of that might be the fact there's too many of them, and I need to pick them. Looks like pretty much all the radishes have gone to flower, which is not really what we want. We're still waiting on the blueberries to change color. I'm sure the birds are too. We'll see how well this reflective stuff keeps them away this year. It worked really well on the blackberries last year, not so well on these, so I redid them, and we'll see. But yeah, all this has pretty much gone to flower, except for the carrots that are in there. You can see the carrot tops. So the carrots are doing okay. But yeah, our salad beds are doing really well. Again, another case of probably needing to pinch off some flowers. But a few different kales, pretty sure that's rocket. That red lettuce is really good. Been eating it a lot. Really think this is a really pretty kale. I haven't eaten as much of it just because it's so pretty, so I don't pick it, but I've eaten plenty of the others. Just picking a salad every now and then. I like to do like cut and come again and just pick what I need. Pretty big mustard leaves there. I've used them in a few salads. But yeah, everything is looking pretty good in the food garden where we want it. Oh, I had not noticed this. This is why we do these tours sometimes, so I can see new things. And that's lovely. These are doing pretty good in these pots, by the way. I need to find a better place for these guys, or at least actually arrange them on the table. Strawberries are doing pretty good. Been getting enough strawberries to do in like an oatmeal or something every few days. We're kind of in between now. These are all June bearing, and they're all different times of June. Early, middle, and then late June. So there's some that have been ripe in the earlies, and now we're getting to the middle and the late, hopefully. Plenty on there, so hopefully we'll get plenty of berries. But more of these pots, which have done well, I think. And we'll take a look at the pond. We got quite a lot of rain, actually. This was really dry yesterday. I was gonna put water in it and got kind of distracted, but it looks really good now. So it's doing pretty well. My cupias are doing pretty well around here. But I'm real, like I said, I've said it before, I'm happiest with the pond I've ever been. I'll be glad when the water lilies start blooming and when the water cannas start blooming. That'll be nice. I'll be dividing some of this up either at the end of this year or early next year, and starting another water feature somewhere. Just a quick show of the boxes. They're doing pretty good. I really like this basil. It's really strong. I can't remember, what is it called? Oh, it's called Pesto Perpetuo, and I really like that basil. There's another one. We've also got some peppers coming. One of the Anaheims is coming as well. We'll look at it real quick. Yeah, nice, pretty big Anaheim coming there. So more and more stuff coming in. Like I said, we've been eating out of here for a while, especially if you count the asparagus. So this bed we put in, you saw on the last video, if you're one of the 3 who watched it, is doing all right. Flowers are doing good. Tomatoes are doing good. I probably will have to figure out something to do to trellis them, but we'll work on that. And then this addition is also doing really well. Really happy with it having like a border along this side of the garden. I'm going to move the compost at some point. Probably not this year, probably not next year, but when I do, I'll probably border around that side too. I need to get in here and weed. I haven't got in. This guy's still doing a good job of taking over, but I need to get in and give him a little help and weed some things, so he can take over even more. But all this is doing really well. We've got weeds creeping in, and I need to get in here and do that. So we'll get in and do that. Show you the rest of the beds that are on the greenhouse. They're coming in, beginning to fill out, which is always good. They take a little bit. So the same thing here, this one's filling out, maybe a little bit more filled out, but that's pretty good. And here is the squashes that did so well last year, and so these have been getting the worm tea as well about every 3 weeks. I get enough to use about once a week, maybe a little more, and so that's what I've been doing, is rotating. And we'll show you the melons in a minute. The Jerusalem artichokes, better known as fartichokes, are doing fantastic again. They always do fantastic. You can't see really well, but there's a few trying to escape from the bed, which is to be expected. But they're doing great. I mean, you can eat off them for years. This clematis is reaching its end, probably, but also in its glory. Still got a few blooms to come, it looks like. A few buds here and there. This one's getting ready to bloom. I planted it in this pot this year. Down there with that mother of thousands, which some of those are weeds, and then some of those, they might be her trying to seed. We'll see. I think those are some of hers trying to seed. Apparently they can seed really well. That's why it's in a pot, and I'm going to keep an eye on it when it gets taller, because apparently they can be really invasive, but I like them. They're very pretty, very different. We're getting close to the end of harvesting asparagus. Probably after this week, if I even harvest any this week, I'll just let it go. That way it can grow up. It's been let go a little bit, but yeah, it's about at the end, about time to let it go for the year, and so it can build back up its roots and stuff. So the shade garden, like a lot of other parts, is needing some work. That's what the video is. The video is a lot of like, oh, I need to do this, and then hopefully the next time I do a full tour, you'll see all this done. But that pawpaw is doing really well. Let it still be. Looks like it's doing really well. I assume that's what that is. These grasses we put in are doing okay. Same thing with all the hostas. They're coming back. Everything's kind of coming back for the most part. It all got ate down in the fall, so it's coming back now. It got a deer prune, so we'll see. This garden is obviously like this is a couple years it's going to take to get this how we want it. And like I said, it needs some weeding on the back side, even if it just needs the weed eater on the back side. Heuchras. Yeah, it's doing well. I was worried about these guys because everything died off and then it put on new growth. And same thing with the other one I'll show you. It died off and now it's got some new growth coming. Actually, you can't even tell. Oh, there it is. So yeah, the leaves died back, but then we got these new growths coming out, so that's good. But yeah, things are coming back in here. It'll be a few years. I need to give it a good weeding to help it along. Again, the grass is doing well that we planted, and the pawpaw at this end is doing really well. Planted these beds up with some brassicas and stuff, and brassica friend plants, and we'll see. That's only been done in the past couple weeks. It'll take it a little while here in the shade, but they'll come along. This fern area is doing pretty well. This was not put in by me. This is just a product of, you know, they were cutting down everything over here before I got here and bought the house, and now things are coming back. I trimmed the azalea because it was getting pretty tall. Hopefully get it shaped up nicely. But yeah, I'll need to move some of those ferns eventually, I think. I think that's the best way to propagate them. Not a whole lot going on in the orchard. There were some, still are, some currants coming in. Oh, I had some white ones and they were almost ready, and damn if something didn't get them. Usually nothing gets them because they're white and you don't see them. But this year, pretty much everything in here needs a trim. This is the time of year to do that because we want to keep these short. So like all that stuff's going to get trimmed down to at least close to my head height, because that's how we want to keep them. I know better than to let them get too tall, not just because of the power lines, because then they become hard to pick. Obviously the dappled willow is going to need that trim that I keep saying it's going to get. We'll work on that, but next time you'll get to see the difference. And maybe that's even something I'll film while I'm doing it. We're coming in here and kind of trimming down the trees in the orchard that have grown a little tall. There are some apples on this guy again. We'll see. Not as much fruit I'm seeing this year, probably because we didn't have bees at the time because they all died in the winter. And when these were blooming, I had not put in the bees yet. I mean, they were pollinators, but not as many as we usually have. Pokers coming through here. Really happy about that. Really like the pokers. Hopefully they will proliferate. I forgot how to say proliferate. There we go. They'll proliferate through here. But we're seeing more of them coming up, and that's been a long time coming. Lots of things getting ready to come into bloom, so that'll be nice. The window boxes are doing fantastic. And sometimes they bring hummingbirds and other critters in, but really happy with those. Oh, the irises have gone over, but in their place we're getting some of the daylilies. I love this color. So we're getting some of them blooming now. These two pots are doing really well. A lot of this you would have seen in the flower video a few weeks ago, where I don't talk and it's just flowers and music. And then the gravel garden, or the driveway garden, or whatever we decide to call it, it's doing really well. Need to deadhead some chamomile, though it does smell relaxing out here, but it's doing really good. Really happy with what's going on here. It's kind of like an overly planted wild meadow at this point, because we just kind of throw seeds out there. There's some Sweet William, you see. We just kind of throw things out here and see how they do. The grapevines are grapevining. I'll show you just a little bit. And this is getting pretty dry even though we got rain. But in here is some okra and some of the melons. I've been feeding them. Something got in here on the okra, it looks like. But we'll see Keep trying with melons. Keep hoping. I think I need to put them somewhere they get more water. Like I said, the grapevines are grapevining. This is the one that's been going the longest. Yeah. Maybe this year. Probably not, but maybe. I mean, we're cautiously optimistic, but not overly optimistic. So I doubt those will turn into fruit, but we'll see. One can hope. We'll go around the keyhole before looking at it from the sitting spot, but things are getting pretty filled in here. Finally, got some pokers coming through. Some dahlias starting to bloom. A few weeds as always. That poker's getting pretty big. It'll be pretty here soon enough. All the foxgloves are pretty much done and are put on seed, and we'll let those dry and fall off and have more foxgloves. This African daisy's still doing fairly well. That guy's getting bigger. So we'll look at all this from the other end too. With the honesties, all of them are putting on seed pods now. Particularly this one. Put on quite a few. But yeah, I came in, planted that lavender. The storm cloud's coming back pretty good. Yeah, everything in here is going pretty well. Each year is a little better. That's the idea anyway. So yeah, that's it. We're still here. We're still gardening. I don't know why you're still watching, but thanks. And get out there and enjoy the outdoors. Whether you're gardening or hiking or what, it is the season.